As a man, you may feel unhappy with your options within the male social hierarchy. Your distaste for the system and sense of otherness may mean that you possess Sigma male traits. Sigma males operate mostly on their terms. They are not below alpha males. Sigma males can hold an equivalent status to the alpha while enjoying greater freedom and connection with their truest selves. The following examination of the Sigma male personality could empower you to cultivate the liberating aspects of the Sigma male lifestyle. Unresponsive to authority. Living outside of the social hierarchy greatly limits a Sigma male's desire to follow leaders. Nonconformist is also an appropriate word. Most people either have an inner desire to dominate and lead or be a follower and comply with authority figures. As a free thinker uncoupled from the human tendency to find comfort in authority, you have little or no compulsion to accept authority. A Sigma may at times agree with an authority figure, but the decision arises from independent thought that is deemed an authoritative decision strategically valuable. Happy in solitude. Sigma males are often summed up with the simplistic label of introverted alpha. This is true in that Sigmas fall on the introverted side of the introvert/extrovert spectrum. As a result, Sigma males often spend time by themselves. They use social media infrequently and don't need regular contact with others to feel content. As a Sigma male, you appreciate your inner world and want to engage in activities that are personally fulfilling, whether they are oriented to financial gain or the acquisition of new relationships. Adapts easily to change. Sigma males have a chameleon-like nature. Their flexible personalities adjust to different situations. They can interact with multiple social hierarchies without becoming part of them. Although Sigma males aren't ever going to be team players, they are perfectly capable of functioning within groups when necessary or desired. Treats people equally. If you're a Sigma male, then you get along with people from all levels of the social hierarchy. Unlike someone trying to maintain a hierarchical position, you would rarely have ulterior motives. The Sigma male engages people out of genuine interest or curiosity. This differs greatly from the alpha, who wants to dominate or at least extract something of value out of other people. Quiet and contemplative. Sigma men can generally read everyone in a room like an alpha may do, but Sigmas won't feel the overt need to broadcast their brilliance. Sigma males tend to prioritize thinking before speaking. They like to spend time analyzing everything, including experiences, emotions, and new information. They take the time to reach their conclusions instead of accepting conventional interpretations. Self-reliant. Independence is the guiding force of the Sigma male. If you are a Sigma, you avoid authority. You'll seek a lifestyle that lets you be the master of your fate. Although a Sigma male is not above seeking help when appropriate, he typically can recognize his problems and solve them. He knows how to take care of himself and is content to do so. Great self-awareness. Sigma males know what they want from life because they have given it plenty of thought and rejected the roles expected of them in a normal hierarchy. When you're freed from the pressure of functioning in a hierarchy, your emotions and desires take center stage. With greater self-awareness comes a greater capacity to manage emotions and recognize when they are serving you or not serving you. Marches to his own beat. A Sigma man doesn't need to follow trends or do what's expected. He marches to his beat, not to stand out or impress but because that's who he is. He knows what he likes and what he wants and doesn't need society's input, or anyone's, for that matter, to define him. He has an inner compass that guides him, even if he goes against the flow or ruffles some feathers. He's his own man and completely confident in that. Often mysterious or enigmatic. The Sigma guy doesn't need to wear his emotions on his sleeve or reveal all aspects of himself to everyone. Others may not be able to read him or know exactly what he's thinking. There's an air of mystery about him that isn't intentional. He's not trying to be secretive or perplexing. He just holds back until he's ready to offer more. This quality can be frustrating for those in a relationship with him, but the right kind of partner will appreciate his strong and silent approach. Flirts with danger. Because he is independent and doesn't always comply with authority, the Sigma man can flirt with dangerous situations. He's not a troublemaker or a lawbreaker, but he doesn't mind stepping close to the line. He doesn't do this just to make a point or show off. He has a good reason that fits with his worldview. He may do things that appear reckless and aren't completely safe, riding motorcycles, swimming with sharks, etc., but because he's intelligent, he takes calculated risks that he thinks through carefully. May lack social skills. Either because he doesn't have time to bother with them or hasn't honed them, social skills aren't the Sigma male's strong suit. He finds small talk boring and unnecessary and doesn't see the point in trying to brown-nose the boss or curry favor with decision makers. Ingratiating himself to others to try to impress them goes against his values. He may be the guy who shows up in jeans to a cocktail party he doesn't want to attend. Or he's the one who doesn't reply to texts or emails because he doesn't spend much time looking at his phone or computer. Confidence. To use an animal analogy, if wolf packs are composed of alphas, betas, deltas, gammas, and omegas, sigmas are the equally cunning lone coyotes sharing the same woods but out on their own. Not following the pack takes courage and heaps of self-reliance. At first, some folks may read a sigma's confidence as arrogance. But after getting to know them, you'll usually find a passionate, undemonstrative, and kindly person underneath the somewhat detached facade, not a snob. Great listeners. Though some sigma males may come across as a tad aloof, most are excellent listeners. They're genuinely interested in others' opinions and views, especially if it relates to one of their passions or interests. However, if you're droning on and on about something trivial, gossipy, or inconsequential, don't expect a sigma male to remain enthused and engaged. In some situations, he may bluntly tell you he's not interested and walks away. While sigma males can be super observant and great conversationalists, they typically don't suffer fools, or foolish conversations. Abstract thinkers. One main difference between alphas and sigmas is the latter's tendency to eschew conformity. Resultantly, sigmas tend to be deeper, abstract thinkers. Since they enjoy loads of alone time, sigmas devour books and articles and consume more educational programming, ultimately expanding their knowledge base and cognitive function. Leads by example. Alpha males typically emulate traditional leadership models and want to be seen and treated with reverence. Sigmas approach it differently. Instead of upholding hierarchy dynamics, sigmas almost always lead by example. Typically, they establish egalitarian teams where every member is valued and praised for contributing to the whole. Moreover, sigma leaders usually don't yell and scream like many alpha ones. You enjoy being alone. You know those people that are excessively social? They go on group vacations, they have multiple parties every weekend, on Sunday they hang out with the tennis club and they love networking events. They thrive in social settings, get energized by talking to other people, and love making new social connections. Together is better than alone, is their motto. However, they have a hard time being alone. Some even go crazy, literally, when convicted to a moment of solitude. Well, you're not that guy. You're the opposite. It's not that you dread socializing, but it exhausts you. This means that after a party or other social gathering, you need to recharge your battery. Being alone gives you energy. There are so many things you can do, so many projects to work on. You're most productive when in solitude. You like to think. Okay, I admit, there are many different ways of thinking. When you're socializing you think as well. In this case, I mean thinking in an introspective way. Some people are frightened to be alone with their thoughts. They fill in these empty spaces with music, chit-chat, television, YouTube, drinking alcohol and even using drugs. Most addictions derive from avoiding thoughts, especially negative thoughts, because these thoughts lead to negative emotions. But you embrace your thoughts and often spend time in deep introspection. You like to reflect on the past, contemplate the present, and imagine future projects. Your mind is your sanctuary. You think independently. You're unlikely to bind yourself to a dogma. Being religious is fine as long as it doesn't restrict your independent thought. If you feel that you cannot think freely, you leave. Because you're a free thinker, you cringe at the thought of conforming to a set of dogmatic beliefs. Probably you're not going to be a religious fanatic or a social justice warrior who loves demonstrating just for the sake of demonstrating. You don't like authority. No one should tell you what to do. Perhaps you find yourself in a situation sometimes where you have to deal with an authority figure. In that case, you take it, nod, and do your own thing anyway. Because you love freedom, you'd rather be an entrepreneur and decide what you do and when you do it, than work a 9-to-5 job. Even if that means that you must work harder than before. The American philosopher Henry David Thoreau stated that civil disobedience is a civilian's duty. And you wholeheartedly agree with that statement. Sometimes you just need to be a rebel to prove that you're still a free man and not intimidated by the big daddy government and all its meticulous rules and laws. Don't get me wrong, you're not a criminal. But smoking a cigarette where there's a smoking prohibition, cycling on the sidewalk, and urinating against the local police officer after a night out are things you might enjoy doing.